Welcome to Israel Chronicles, where we uncover the layers of history that have shaped this remarkable land. In today's episode, we explore an extraordinary period spanning from the Muslim conquest of Jerusalem in 638 AD to the fall of the Second Crusader Kingdom in 1291 AD. This era witnessed the construction of agricultural masterpieces, the rise and fall of empires, a pivotal battle that defined the future of the region and the world. In 638 AD, the Rashidun Caliphate, under the leadership of Caliph Omar ibn Khattab, conquered Jerusalem. This marks the beginning of the Islamic rule over the region, then referred to Jund Palestine or Palestina Secunda, one of the districts of the Levant, Levant meaning the Near East. The success of the Muslim conquest can in part be attributed to the impact of the Justinian plague, the pandemic which have ravaged the Byzantine and the Sassanid Empire in the 6th and early 7th century. Left these empires weakened military and economically, paving the way for the rapid expansion of the Muslim forces. With the Muslim conquest, a new cultural and agricultural and architectural identity began to take shape. By 691 AD, the Umayyad Caliphate Abd Malik commissioned the construction of the Dome of the Rock, the Golden Dome, on Temple Mount in Jerusalem. While this iconic Islamic structure served as a profound religious symbol, it is also bear a clear Byzantine influence. Its octagonal shape and the intricate mosaic adorning its interior reveals the involvement of Byzantine craftsmen and designers. This architectural marvel, with its shimmering golden dome, showcased the artistic and political ambition of the Umayyad Caliphate. But history has a way of shaking things up, literally speaking. In 749 AD, a devastating earthquake struck the region, leveling many cities and altering the landscape of the Levant. Its effect rippled across the entire population, impacting Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. While this natural disaster did not directly result in widespread the conversion of Islam, the socio-political and economic hardship it imposed definitely showed a direct influence for some individuals. Under Islamic rule, non-Muslims were required to pay a special tax, the jizya. The converted to Islam often provide economic relief and social advantages. The aftermath of this earthquake may have made this incentive more appealing to those grappling in the loss and rebuild. After this relatively peaceful time came the Crusades. The Crusades began in 1095, sparked by Pope Urban II, impassioned call at the Council of Clermont. He urged Christians across Europe to take up arms and liberate the Holy Land from the hands of the Muslim control. Urban II promised that participants will receive spiritual rewards, including indulgences, actual pieces of heaven, remission of sins, and eternal salvation. For many, the Crusades were seen as not just a spiritual mission, but also a chance to break free from the bondage of their challenging lives in medieval Europe. Life in medieval Europe was often marked by poverty, hunger, and feudal oppression. The Crusade presented an opportunity to escape these hardships, offering the prospect of adventure, potential wealth, and even lands, distant territories over the seas. However, the early waves of Crusaders often resembles barbaric mobs, raiding and pillaging villages as they marched through Europe towards the Holy Land. In 1099 AD, the First Crusade ended in the conquest of Jerusalem, and the Kingdom of Jerusalem was established. To solidify the control over the region, the Crusaders constructed a network of castles throughout the land. These fortresses, like Belvoir Fortress, overlooking the Jordan Valley, and Montfort Castle in the Western Galilee, showcased the Crusades' military ingenuity and served as both defensive stronghold and symbols of their power. One of the most remarkable figures of the Crusader period was Queen Melisande of Jerusalem. As the daughter of Baldwin II and the first native queen of the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem, Melisande ruled with exceptional skills. One of Melisande's greatest achievements was the reconstruction of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Destroyed and damaged multiple times over the centuries, this sacred site, revered as a place of Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection by the Greek and Catholic Church. The reconstruction combined Romanesque and Byzantine architectural elements, symbolizing the blend of Western and Eastern influence during the Crusader period. Melisande's role in this project not only reinforced the religious importance of Jerusalem, but also solidified her legacy. As a capable and visionary leader, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre remains a monumental testament to her contribution and to the ambition of the Crusader kingdom. The Crusader dominance faced its greatest challenge on July 4, 1187, at the Battle of the Horns of Hattin. Saladin, the brilliant Muslim leader and founder of the Ayyubid dynasty, had carefully orchestrated this confrontation. His forces, numbering around 20,000 men, including elite Mamluk cavalry, skilled archers, and conscript troops from across the entire territory. The Crusaders' army, led by King Guy de Lianzio and Renaud of Chatillon, was composed of approximately 18,000 soldiers, including knights from the Templars and Hospitallarian orders. The Crusaders made a critical error by abandoning their fortified position at Sepphoris to relieve the besieged city of Tiberias. Saladin's forces harassed them relentlessly as they marched across the arid plains near the Sea of Galilee. Dehydrated and exhausted, the Crusades were forced to camp overnight without any access to water. The next morning, Saladin's army surrounded the Crusaders near the twin hills known as the Horns of Hattin. The Crusaders, desperate and discouraged, attempt to break through the encirclement, but were driven back. Saladin's archers rained arrows at the Crusader rank, while his cavalry cut off any attempt of retreat. In the chaos, the Crusaders lost the most sacred relic, the true cross, carried into battle by the Bishop of Acre. Its capture by Saladin forces dealt a devastating blow to the morale of the Crusades. By the end of the battle, the Crusade army was annihilated. The victory at Hattin was a turning point in the history of the Crusades. It marked the beginning of the end of the Crusader state in the Holy Land. Within months, Saladin's forces recaptured Jerusalem and most of the Crusader-held cities and castles, prompting the launch of the Third Crusade. The loss of Jerusalem in 1187 sparked an outrage across Europe. Pope Gregory VIII issued a call for another crusade, the Third Crusade, aimed to reclaim the Holy Land. One of the central figures of the Third Crusade was Richard the Lionheart, King of England. While the Crusaders failed to recapture Jerusalem, Richard negotiated a truce with Saladin in 1192, securing a safe passage for Christians pilgrims to the city and establishing the Second Crusader Kingdom, which its capital is Acre. Richard's involvement in the crusade had a profound impact on England, though not always a positive way. His long absence from the country, spending only 6 months of his 10-year reign in England, left the kingdom heavily taxed to fund his campaigns. This financial strain of his focus on foreign conquest earned him a reputation as a king who cared little for his homeland. In fact, Richard did not even speak English. His primary language was French, reflecting his upbringing in the French-speaking court of Aquitaine. Despite his negligence of England, Richard's exploit inspired enduring legends. The tale of Robin Hood, for example, often depicts Richard as a noble king whose absence allowed wicked kings like Prince John to oppress the people. These stories, though fictional, reflect the yearning for justice and heroism during a time of political instability. Richard's legacy as a warrior king and his ascension with chivalry and courage left a lasting imprint on English identity. However, his reign also highlighted the challenges of balancing domestic governments with the ambition of Crusade monarchs. The Crusader kingdom flourished as a center of commerce, granting lucrative trade rights to Italian city-states such as Venice, Genoa, Pisa, and alike. These trade connections not only enriched the Crusader states, but also planted the seed for the Italian Renaissance, as goods, ideas, and cultural influences flowed between the East and the West. The period between 1191 and 1291 AD marked the twilight of the Crusader kingdom in the Holy Land. Following the Third Crusade, which saw Richard the Lionheart secure a tenuous foothold along the coastline, the Crusaders started to face relentless pressure from the Muslim forces. The Ayyubic dynasty, and later on the Mamluks, systematically dismantled Crusader fortresses and strongholds. Despite intermediate reinforcements from Europe, internal divisions among the Crusaders and the rise of powerful adversaries such as Sultan Baybars weakened their position. The final blow came in 1291 with the fall of Acre, the last major Crusade stronghold, seeing the end of the nearly 2 centuries of European presence in the region. The history of this land between 638 and 1291 AD is a story of profound transformation. It is a tale of conquest and resilience, of faith and ambition, and of the enduring human spirit. From the rise of the Rashidun Caliphate and the construction of the Dome of the Rock, which represents a new cultural era, through the devastation of the earthquake of 749 AD and the arrival of the Crusades at 1099 AD. This chapter of history, like the layers of soil beneath our feet, has left an amazing imprint on the land, and now that we call Israel. The event of this era remind us of the humanity's capacity for greatness and folly, for destruction and creation, and for the enduring pursuit of a better future. Join us next time on Israel Chronicles as we journey deeper into the remarkable history of this land, uncovering stories that continue to echo and resonate through times. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please write them in the comment section below.